Well, hi there everybody, it's Noreen, and as you can see, I am at Creative Memories home office. I'm here in the warehouse in South Rapids, Minnesota. And the video that you're about to see, I wanted to hop on and kind of give you a quick little note because some of the items that you're going to be seeing me working with in the video are no longer available. And you may have seen that already on the Creative Memories website. So I do hope, however, that you'll be able to use some of the ideas with products that are that you maybe already ordered and are on their way to you, or that you can, take some of the ideas and use them with other Creative Memories products. So I did also want to let you know that the promotion is still going on, and when you buy any combination of 6 of the available embellishments, you're now going to get, I'm just grabbing them here, the violet and mauve metallic pens and the Vivid Melodies heart stickers. So you'll get all 3 of those items now when you purchase any combination of 6 embellishments. So keep that in mind while you're watching the video, and rest assured that we are committed to bringing you lots more products that is going to help make your scrapbooking fast and fun. So enjoy the ideas, make some adaptations, and I'll see you live next week. Well, hello everyone. Let me just get myself set up here and welcome you to a special pre-recorded episode of Fast and Fun Projects with Noreen. And I am Noreen Smith. I am the Product Development Creative Manager with Creative Memories. And it's always my pleasure to be with you on Wednesday afternoons at 5 p.m. Central Time, right here on both the Creative Memories YouTube channel and in the Creative Memories Facebook group, the Virtual Crop Facebook group. So you'll find me most weeks joining you live streaming onto both platforms. But this week, which is, when you see this, it's going to be Wednesday, May 3rd. When you see this, I will actually be at the Creative Memories home office in South Rapids, Minnesota. So I'm getting together with the product development team and we are planning out lots of great new things. So it should be really exciting. So this is a pre-recorded episode. And as I always worry a little bit when I do a pre-recorded episode, because the things that I'm going to be playing with and showing you today are part of a promotion that's launching on Monday, May 1st. So fingers crossed that all products are still available when you see this video. But as with all of our promos and even with regular launches, of course, supplies are limited on many items and they do tend to sell out quickly. So if you see something you like today, make sure you head over to your Creative Memories website, creativememories.com, creativememories.ca for Canada, and creativememories.com/AU for Australia to see if the products are still available. Okay, so I hope that you see something and it's still available. If not, I'm hoping you can substitute in something or you can go to your next most favorite product, because we are talking all about the incredible embellishments being offered in the Embellishment Buffet. Now, we love a buffet at Creative Memories. We love giving you lots of choices. And all 6 of the embellishments that are being offered in this Embellishment Buffet are delicious. And you are going to want second helpings of them for sure. So I'm going to flip my camera over in just a moment to show you all 6 of the embellishments, as well as the free fantastic must-have new tool that you can receive free when you purchase any combination of 6 or more of these embellishments, okay? So let's take a look, and then we're going to actually play with all 6 of the embellishment collections. And I'm going to attempt to get 6 layouts done. I may not get them all adhered for you, but I'm going to give you 6 ideas for layouts focusing on you know, all kind of starting off with just a regular base page, pattern paper or cardstock, and then really focusing on using the embellishments to create a fast and fun layout, okay? But let's take a look at all of the beautiful embellishments in the embellishment buffet. So we've got 6 of them here to go through really quickly. I'm not going to show you each and every embellishment in the packs. We'll have a little bit of a closer look at each one when we start working with them. But first of all, let me show you. Let me see if I can get there we go. There's the little logo. This is the new Creative Memories lifter stick. And this is what you can earn for free during the Embellishments Buffet with your qualifying order. And a qualifying order is when you choose any 6 of the embellishments, you'll receive a lifter stick. If you choose 12 to 17 of the embellishment packs, you'll get 2 free lifter sticks, and so on. When you buy 18 or more, you'll get 3. So you're going to definitely want to look at these and make sure you get one of these for yourself and maybe even a backup. Now the lifter stick itself, it kind of looks like a little pen, but it has one end that is a tacky, rubbery surface, and it is designed to pick up things. It's designed to help you lift things. So I don't know about you, but anytime I'm working with little punches, with little small embellishments, sometimes I kind of fumble to get them picked up. Now, often I'll use my multi-purpose tool, which is great. Sometimes I'll try to slide the little spatula end of that under. But how great is it to just be able to pick things up just by dabbing and going ahead and picking them up. And you can see that some of these embellishments that I'm picking up are actually pretty large, and they are heavier die cuts. It will pick up a long embellishment as well. It may not be, you know, quite in the center, but it's definitely going to work for a lot of your embellishments and gems and things like that. It's also going to be great for cleaning up. So say you've punched out something and you've got all of the little bits, you can just sort of dab it. It's almost like, you know, when you dab something with a piece of masking tape to pick up lint. It's the same idea. It's just going to pick those things up for you, and you're going to be able to pick up things and clean up things really, really quickly. So I love it, and I'm super excited that you can earn one free with your purchase. Remember, any combination of 6 of the embellishment packs, and you'll get your lifter stick for free. Okay? So we'll come back and we'll use that throughout today, actually. I'll keep it off to my side here and try to remember to use it. But let's take a very quick look at all 6 of the embellishments on offer right now during the Embellishment Buffet. So there's 3 sets of kind of smaller embellishments, 2 laser cut borders, and then a set of layered emborders. So let's start with these ones. These are the Mountain Views layered borders, and I don't know if you can see that there are 2 layers on these, and they already have been lifted up with some foam adhesive. So they're great because you don't have to do anything. You get the layered look without any work. And these are designed actually to coordinate with our previously sold Alpine Mountains border punch. So if you have that punch, and I'm not going to be showing any of the punches or products that are not currently in the CM line, but if you have the Alpine Borders, the Alpine Mountains border punch, you're going to see that it just layers on top of some of these just perfectly, and you're going to be able to create beautiful, beautiful layered scenes. So imagine taking the foothills here and placing it on top of a punched border, or having, you know, the waves of a lake right in front of all of your mountain ranges. So, or even this one, which is the kind of, you know, puffy, fluffy clouds up in the blue sky. So this could go up at the top of your layout and then your mountains below. So those are beautiful. 8 of the layered border embellishments with the Mountain Views collection, or Mountain Views pack. Now the next border pack is called Stained Glass, and these are laser cut embellishments, laser cut borders, and they all have a geometric feel to them. And they will coordinate, if some of you may have already noticed, that they will coordinate perfectly with the geometric frame border punch, as well as there's some that will coordinate really, really nicely with the cross punch. And that's what I'm going to be using today as we go through and create a layout. So see if I've got one handy. I don't, but when we come to it, you'll see that you can layer the cross right on top of some of these geometric designs. So there are, let me just double check, 10 laser cut borders in the Stained Glass laser cut border pack. Then we have another laser cut embellishment pack, and this one is Boho Mandala. And as the name suggests, it's going to go perfectly with our previous tropical style collection called Boho Escape, some of which is still available. And it's also going to coordinate beautifully with our Mandala Burst Punch, border punch. So you can see our Mandala Burst border punch created a half mandala that looks very much like that. So that's what we're going to be using when we create the layout with that collection or that pack. And then we have Carnival Fun, and this really is a fun pack. This is all about carnivals and fairs and, you know, just going out and having a good time. It also coordinates with the Let the Good Times Roll paper pack. So it's actually got kind of a Mardi Gras feel to it too that you could use. So very versatile for a lot of different, again, kind of fun, celebratory types of things. We've got, you know, fireworks and little medals. There is a carousel horse in here, stars, magicians, and we've got castles and where's the little, there we go. There's the little, what would you call that? Carousel goes around. I can't remember what you call, you know, like the Ferris wheel. There we go. So you can use these collections or this collection with two different punches that are still in our line. The Masquerade border punch, which will give you a lovely row of all of the little masks, just like the mask I was showing you there, just like those ones. And then the Fairgrounds border punch, which is what I'm going to be creating my layout with today when I use this pack. Then we've got Lots of Love, and this is a wonderful everyday sort of collection. Happy, you know, hearts, love, everyday moments. I love the color palette. We've got blue, red, kind of that hot fudge, navy, beige, and it's just full of really nice, easy to use sentiments. So there we've got, you know, smile-worthy snapshots. And I love the hearts that are in there, and it's going to coordinate with a couple of our heart punch. The Full of Love punch is what I'm going to be using. And then we also have, I think, the heart-to-heart border that it will work with. And then there's some great little journal cards with this. So this is actually a 40 pack of die cuts. And I should say that the Carnival Fun is also a 40 pack. And I don't think I mentioned, but the lasers, 20 laser cut embellishments for the Boho Mandala. And then our final pack, absolutely gorgeous, Falling Leaves laser cut border. So as the name suggests, we've got all of these rich, gorgeous, autumn colored, really warm, lovely details on these particular leafy border punches. So it almost looks like ivy. We've got kind of a pine bough, and then again yellow leaves, red leaves, some smaller leaves here, and some maple leaves, my favorite. And this is going to coordinate with a couple of our different leaf punches. We've got the autumn leaves border punch and the leafy vine border punch. So all of those will coordinate together, and you'll see from the colors that different collections will also work. So I mentioned that the kind of Carnival New Orleans flavored collection called Let the Good Times Roll. That coordinates with this, but so will Purple Ice, one of our Totally Tonals packs from Q1. This one will coordinate with a lot of our different cardstocks. The Falling Leaves will coordinate with our previous fall collections. I'm going to be using Golden Harvest, but you can see that it will also coordinate with Totally Tonal Tangerine and even our Hello Autumn pack from a couple years back. So they all coordinate beautifully with current and previous punches and collections. So again, our designers are working hard to make sure that they've got things that coordinate for you so that you can really, really stretch your supplies. Okay? So that's a quick overview, and we are going to play with each and every one of these. And as I said, I may not get some layouts completed, as in, adhered and, all perfectly done. But we are going to make 6 layouts together. So let's go ahead and get started with the mountain views. And I'll tell you what I've got here. I have some Up Camp Embellishments. And Up Camp is our camping collection that just came out this last month. So I've got a few embellishments there that I'm going to use for kind of like titles and things. And then I just have one of the neutral papers that I'm going to use as my base. And this one has the little arrows on it. It's just a nice sort of white base with the beige arrows. So it's going to provide a nice neutral base for this. And I've already selected 4 of the borders. And actually, I think I'm going to have to get a second pack of these because I want to make a 2-page spread this way. But I'm simply going to use 4 of these borders, and I'm just going to layer them to create a super fast layout. And you know what my motto is: fast and fun. So I've got the large mountain range here. So I'm just going to kind of put that along here. And then I have a smaller sort of hills in the foreground and kind of lower mountains in the background there. And you can see that when I start to layer them, oh, it looks so gorgeous. We've got so much detail going on there. And then I'm going to finish it off with a little lake and some trees in the foreground. Now, layering the layered borders might take a little bit of effort on your part, just in terms of making them all match up. So with the first 2, that's a 2-layered border. And then if I put this second 2-layered border right on top, you can see that's going to be pretty thick. So when you start to layer them, you do want to kind of offset them so that the back part, which is the flatter part, is overlapping onto the next layered part. And then for this front piece, it's the trees that are layered. So I'm actually going to put some foam squares on the back here, and that will raise up the kind of that final border to the right height so that it will all look kind of even. So you can see there that now my layered borders are all quite nicely organized. And you could bring this all the way down to the bottom. I like to leave a little bit of the edge there. I don't have to do anything up here. This is a great little topper. I love the look of this. So what I kind of thought was that I would make this border and then I would put my little camper right down here as if I'm camping down by the lake. And of course, life is better at the campground. So I can work that in. And for something like that, what I would do is just add my foam squares to the bottom part of the die cut so that it will kind of balance itself. Because again, when you're overlapping it onto, the layered look, you want it to make sure that it's balanced. So I've got little foam squares just on the front there, and that's going to hold that up to the same level. Then I've got my life is better at the campground. I thought that I could just add a little spray of pine needles and camping just as a little, extra up there. And then I'm going to take one of these field notes and I can add it in kind of wherever I decide. So I'm going to basically say that that is done, and I can actually put a couple of different sizes of photos here. So I think I would probably take maybe a couple of 3x5s. And then if I have room, I could add in another 5x3. Maybe that's a little bit too big. I could maybe go with a little 4x3-inch photo here. So I could get 3 photos on there, have my journaling, and a beautiful, beautiful border that really doesn't take me any time at all to put together. Really, once I get the foam squares lined up, it's just a matter of adhering it. And that is a great camping layout with so much detail and so little effort. Love it. So that is the Mountain Views Layered Border Embellishments. Just a little idea for a layout. All right, so for our next layout featuring the Boho Mandala laser cut embellishments, I've pulled one of the Boho Escape papers. I think this might be from the Tonal pack. And this has kind of that nice pink and a little bit of the kind of the ochre color that's featured in there. And then I'm going to really add a lot of interest with some soft pink and dark green cardstock, which are 2 of the colors that feature very heavily in the embellishments. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and punched 2 borders using the Mandala Burst border punch. So I've got one in the green, and I've got one that's cut just slightly smaller that I'm going to layer on top, and that's the soft pink. So let me give you a couple measurements here. After cutting, or after punching, the dark green is cut to about 1 3/4, and the soft pink is cut to 1 1/2. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to grab my repositionable adhesive, and I'll just tack these 2 together real quick. And I'm just going to kind of offset it so that you see the green behind the pink. And it'll kind of have a little bit of a shadow effect. There we go. And I think, you know, that on its own, I always have loved this particular border punch because I love the decoration. But then I thought what would be great is to take some of these embellishments and then kind of, you know, layer up this by putting some in behind. So now I only have 2 of these, so I'm going to cut them in half, and I'm just going to use my microtip scissors to do that. Let's see if we can get it in half. I'm just going to try to go right in half between 2 of the points, and then that way I can just kind of layer these in behind. And I've got 5 Mandala bursts, and I'll have 4 of these, same kind of shape as the Mandala burst, but different colorways. So I'll just give it a little bit extra. And you know what? I'll just move this over so I'm getting some nice repeating colors. So I love that that gives some extra detail to that border. Again, without much work on my part. I punched 2 rows and cut them, and then I've just added those lovely embellishments behind. And of course, you could even go further. You could take this one and, you know, tuck that in behind again. There's so many beautiful, beautiful designs here. But really, I thought that would be a great little topper. And then I could come along and, you know, add some photos with maybe one of the cardstock colors here. So I've just got a 4x4. That's 4x4. And I could come along and cut a 4x6. And that would give me, maybe do something like that, get 2 photos on there. And that would give me a nice little area down here to really have a beautiful layered collage. So let's just play around here. Let's try to pick up the pink, the green, and that sort of ochre color. So we could do something like a large green, and then a smaller ochre, and then what have we got for pink? I think we've got, that's a pink as well. How about if we do this? We'll do that and the pink, and then there's a cute little flower that might just tie it all together. So that would be a great little embellishment cluster that we could just use in that area there. And then I thought you could take 1 or 2 of the Boho stickers, Boho Escape stickers, and that could be your title, which you could put down here, or you could even just add it up to your border at the top there. And then you could make another border at the bottom if you want, but I like that that one is so, you know, rich and layered and textured. And then this little embellishment cluster down here would kind of set it off and balance it out. Okay, so again, another quick, fast and fun layout idea using the Boho Mandala laser cut embellishments. All right, on to the falling leaves laser cut borders. And for this, I was looking at the borders themselves. And again, some of them could definitely be going, you know, either way. You could have them vertical or horizontal. But this one in particular really kind of inspired me that it looks like, you know, the tendrils of a climbing sort of vine. And then I love the look of these open work. Again, the laser cut detailing is so beautiful. But if I want to layer them, I want to maybe back them with something so that they stand out a bit. And of course, you know, I can layer these in any combination, you know, adding some of the green. You could even kind of, you know, twist them into each other. And that would really look like, again, that kind of trailing ivy. That would be really pretty even on its own. But I thought that what I would do is use this sort of trailing vine, and then I'm going to back these two with some paper. So I've got a couple of different options. I did go ahead and punch out a couple of borders with the falling leaves, autumn leaves. The borders are called falling leaves. The punch is called autumn leaves. And you can see that these would be lovely, you know, layered with any of the borders, pre-cut borders, laser cut borders as well. But let's go ahead. I'm kind of thinking that I might want to layer the dark red over some of that canary cardstock, and then one of these two colors, and I kind of think this one. This is a piece of paper from Golden Harvest as well. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just attach these two to their backing, and then we're going to do a really quick fussy cut. And again, I may not get all of the details really done well for you, but I'll give you the idea. So one of the things is I always like to put it as close to the edge to minimize the amount of cuts that I have to do. So I've just used my repositionable adhesive, and this one's actually going to be pretty easy because it's a pretty regular sort of shape. See if we can get this done here, and maybe if it takes me a long time, I might edit this out or kind of give you a fast forward. But you get the idea of how we would just cut out, layer the laser cut border on top, and then just cut around so that basically now our leaves have a solid backing. And what that lets us do is overlap them and layer them, and even, you know, use foam squares on them, because you couldn't put a foam square on the back of these very intricate borders, because you'd see the foam square, and of course you'd see whatever else is underneath there. So then we're going to do the same for the red one. I may not have time to fussy cut that entire one out. Now this one has some spaces in the middle, so you are going to see space in between the leaves as well. But again, because we're layering it, it's okay. Actually, I can just go ahead and cut right behind that. There we go. And repositionable adhesive obviously is the way to go with these. You can see that you can get all of the little lines drawn out. Okay, So this one is going to take a little bit more time. So let's just go ahead and cut it off, you know, the big pieces. It's not going to be perfect, but you're going to get the idea on this one. Okay, almost done. We'll go with that. It's not perfect, but we'll go with it. Okay, so then the idea that I had would be that we layer these 3 borders. So this one's going to be on the bottom, and you're going to see some of these kind of peeking through. I might have to play with it to see what the best way to sort of intertwine these tendrils would be. I think it might kind of fit in like that. That looks good. Okay, so something like that. And then I'd be putting my foam squares, there they go, on the back of this one. So again, you can see that by backing it, that's how we're able to do some layering to make each of the borders really stand out, and then be able to do some popping up. So I really like the look of that, because then you get all of the detail and you see a little bit of the backing. I might actually even cut this one apart, this tendrils apart, so that some of it can be going on top and we see a little bit more of that one instead of leaving it right at the very back. So I might have to play with that a little bit. Maybe it's going to go kind of in between so that we see it a little bit more. But yeah, once you get your layered border all set, I thought a nice way to do this was to have it going up the side of a page. And I'm a sucker for a wood grain, so that would be a gorgeous, rich border going up the side there. And then I opened up the Golden Harvest laser cut embellishments. These are the laser cut embellishments that came with the or that were sold when the Golden Harvest collection first launched. And I thought picking a few of these large leaves that have that same sort of open work design, and we can do the same thing. We can kind of add them to some of the same cardstock, just so that they really show up and they have the same look then as the fussy cut border. Again, I'm just doing this really rough to kind of give you an idea of how it's going to look. So maybe do the navy leaf on the yellow, and then I'll do this kind of, this one may need something a little bit brighter, but maybe we'll do it on the dark part of the peachy colored paper that we were using. Just again, not because this is the best option here, but just really just to repeat the same colors and be able to have them continue in another area. Okay, so there we go. Now those leaves really sort of stand out. And because we're using the embellishment pack and there's this great wood slice title, that would be a great one to just add down here in the corner. And here again, we get lots of options for photos. Let's try a couple. I think we could get a couple of 4x6s. I always have these little cards out so that I can see what size will work. And then maybe a 4x4. And I could add in my journaling kind of in that area, you know, or we could stagger this for a little bit more interest. Or of course you can, you know, overlap and do a little bit of layering, which I always like to do as well. That creates those kind of little nooks and crannies like we were saying. And you could even do those coming down like that and the title there. So once you get these beautiful embellishments onto a base page, you can really just play around and see what the best arrangement for your photos and a little title or embellishment cluster there. So that is an idea for using the falling leaves, the beautiful falling leaves laser cut borders embellishment pack. All right, 3 down and 3 to go. So let's move on to creating something with the stained glass laser cut embellishments. And as I mentioned, this one goes with both the cross punch and the geometric frame punch. And as a matter of fact, you can see that that one is pretty much, you know, there's a couple in here that are pretty much the exact style of punch outs. I feel like I'm missing one here. There it is. So you can see that that is pretty much the exact same shape. This one has a little bit of an extra arch detail, and then this one, of course, is colored in. So you can definitely, you know, stretch these by creating your own punched borders and adding them and layering them. But I'm really going to focus on this beautiful one that already has that stained glass look. And when you punch this out, of course, you get all of the little pieces as debris. So you can go back in and, you know, you can use your little lifter stick, right? You could use your little lifter stick and put all of the little pieces back into their spots. But this one is already done for us. So because of that idea of stained glass, it got me thinking about, you know, church, stained glass windows, that kind of thing. And that's kind of why I decided I wanted to focus on the cross. Now I'm going to use this beautiful piece of vellum from the Q the Blue paper pack, vellum pack. But I'm going to be placing it onto just a regular piece of white cardstock, because if you put this in, if you're going to put this in your album, of course you can just adhere it right to a page. But if you're going to put it in a pocket page, of course you'll be able to see whatever is on the other side of the pocket page. So I'm going to back it with some white cardstock, but just a little bit of a note. Once we get all of our borders and photos and stuff adhered, that's when you can go ahead, flip it over, and you can use vellum adhesive, which does, you know, really disappear quite well, but you could just use, you know, your regular or your repositionable adhesive on the back where the borders and the photos are, and then you're never going to see it when you adhere it. So for this one, I thought, let's keep it simple, kind of like the mountain views layout. I'm going to start with this one down here at the bottom. And then I thought that this lovely crisscross pattern would actually be nice and kind of a contrast between all of the arched designs of the geometric frame punch. So when I layered those two over, I started to really sort of see those crosses. So that's when I thought I'll go in and I'll just punch out some crosses. Now you'll see that when I do start layering them here, they are a little bit bigger, but it does provide some really nice interest, and it kind of has a little bit, you know, depending on what you punch them from, would have a little bit of contrast. Let me just grab some more dark green cardstock. I need one more. There we go. And that will finish off that little border. And then when we add our geometric frame on top, that would be a lovely sort of religious themed border there. Okay, so I really like the look of that, really emphasizing, again, stained glass windows, the crosses. I've got the greens, I've got the, you know, the dark green of the cardstock. And I thought I want to make sure that I bring up some of this purple. So here is another one of the borders. And I thought if I added this up here at the top and then backed each one of these little open squares with the green cardstock. I'm going to get my lifter stick out here so I can just move these into place. I'm just going to kind of slide them in and then use that tacky end to get them in place. Right? And of course, when you're adhering them all together, that's going to be a big help as well. Now I just measured the size of the empty square, and it was about a 1/2 inch. Just a little bit over a 1/2 inch. So I actually cut my little green squares to be 3/4 of an inch. Sorry, got to get this underneath without disturbing everything else. There we go. And just use that lifter stick, that tackiness, to kind of bring it into place. There we go. Okay, so now I would just have to go ahead and adhere all of those down. But that's kind of the look. So I've got the dark green cardstock repeated in a couple of places. I've got the lovely purple repeated, and I've got beautiful, again, kind of, I think it feels quite, religious, quite traditional. And again, that stained glass motif is working really nicely. So I've got quite a good space in here. Again, when I look at my photo sizes, I could go with a couple of, and then maybe a couple of 3x3s here. And again, I could just adjust that. So whatever I chose to do, I would adhere everything onto the vellum first, and then I would place my adhesive on the back of the vellum sheet and attach it to the cardstock. And that way you won't see any adhesive at all. Okay, so that is a little idea for using the stained glass laser cut borders. And I'm loving that cross punch, how it just fits in so nicely right in there. All right, Carnival Fun. Now these are sort of our regular die cuts. So they are the same weight as our regular die cuts. And I love these shades of purple, shades of green. So I thought that I would use, because I love these little, the circus tent, the castle, and the Ferris wheel, because they are the same shapes that are on our Fairgrounds punch. So I've gone ahead and punched. I didn't trim it off very evenly. I can see a bit of a bow there. But anyways, I've gone ahead and punched Fairground from the dark green. And then I've just got another little piece of eggplant. And I'm just going to layer these on top here just to give me kind of a little two-tone border. And this could go at the top or the bottom. But I'm going to use it at the bottom here because I want to show you something else that I want to play with this collection. Now, I can go ahead and just do that as my little border. And then I can pop up these fun, sort of more detailed shapes of the castle, the Ferris wheel. Oh, I'm going to need smaller foam squares for that one. Let's do a big foam square here. And even though I've got it flipped around here, no big deal. It's going to cover over that. And then a couple of small foam squares for my little castle here. I'll just put one on there for now. But you can see that they kind of are the same shape, and they just add a real fun little dimension there. So that could be my little bottom border. But I really loved these 3 strands of bunting or pennant style flags. And I thought that they would be fun going across the top of the layout here to kind of frame in the action that's going to be happening. And we'll come back and we'll do a little bit more embellishing here. But I've got them on a piece of the Purple Ice tonal, totally tonal paper. And I think this one sort of, again, looks like little fireworks. It echoes the round shape that you see in the Ferris wheel. And it gives that sort of celebratory feeling. And I think that on its own would be great. But this particular little shape got me thinking that are they similar in size and shape to any of our custom cutting system patterns? So when I looked, it is the same sort of radius as our the second largest oval. So I thought it would be kind of fun to actually cut out some ovals. Let's just do one really quick here. And we'll use the red blade. We're going to cut out a eggplant oval. And then I could cut that in half and back the little border with it. Now, if you don't already know the little trick for ovals and circles, if you take one edge of the shape, ovals and circles, and you push it up as far as you can at the top of the trimmer here. The distance between this edge of the lip of the trimmer and this edge of the lip of the trimmer to the cutting line is the same. So when you place it right up at the top there, it's a little harder with the oval because you want to make sure it's the longest edge. but it's really fast and easy to cut that in half. I didn't quite get the top part. But then you can see that I could go ahead and make kind of almost like a curtain, I guess. And I would just overlap that so that it's up at the top. And let's cut one from green, and then we can do the same thing. This was the dark green that I used in a couple of the previous layout examples. And we'll cut that one in half again. And then we can just layer this one. Oops, things fall in here. We can either layer that one, you know, in front or on top of, sorry, the purple pieces, or behind, whichever one you like. But it's a perfect fit. And then we can just trim off the excess. So I would go ahead and adhere that the way I want. And then once it's adhered, flip it over and just trim off the parts that are overhanging the edge of your paper. Okay, and then again, just like all the rest of these, they've been so simple in terms of we're just using a base page, just a pattern paper or a piece of solid cardstock as our base page. So here, maybe I'm going to come in with a 4x6 and a 6x4. And then I've got room for a little title up there. Let's see what we've got. So many fun choices. Oh, I do like that. I do like that, right? Maybe we could add this kind of in between. Fun at the fair, maybe. And maybe that's going to go up a little bit higher there. And then this can just kind of overlap up top here because it really echoes those little banner shapes. And then, you know, maybe even we're going to have something else like a little flag, something like that. And then we can use one of these for our, that might be a little too much there. We can use one of these little tickets. I love the little tickets for our journaling. So we could just kind of tuck that in or leave it off to the side there. Just layer that up just a bit. I always like to overlap things, just make things touch. And that really gives you a cohesive look. And then there's some fun little stars. We can just add the stars around here. And again, I don't know that I would get 2 packs of the ones that have 40 pieces because there's actually quite a lot. Like I could still do another full layout with this for sure. So maybe we'll do that just up at the top here. So we kind of have a bit of a triangle, that gorgeous border there. And then if you can imagine that all trimmed off. And I think that would be such a fun layout to showcase your fun at the fair. So that is an idea for using the Carnival Fun embellishments. All right, we are at our final pack and our final layout idea here. We're going to be playing with the Lots of Love. And so again, blue, red, baby blue, navy, red, hot fudge, and beige are the colors in here. And while that will go with some of our collections, I thought that I would use just a piece of the geometric Cue the Blue paper. So this is a very light blue sort of checked pattern. Okay, a little bit of floral on the back side. But it just had enough interest to kind of let these colors really shine. So again, I was looking through them. I know that it goes with the Full of Love. So I've actually got one of each of the Full of Love hearts, conjoined hearts there, punched out. And as you can see, it also gives me lots of little hearts, which is awesome because we're going to be able to use our lifter stick for that. Now, I'm not going to use the heart-to-heart border punch, but you can see that you would get some lovely fun hearts with that as well. Okay, so again, very much like looking through the embellishments in the Carnival Fun, I was looking through these and I came across these 4 little sort of title banners, and I thought they are so fun. I would like to incorporate all 4 of them onto a layout. So very much like with Carnival Fun, I got out my see a custom cutting circle pattern to see if one of them would have the same sort of radius. And lucky for me, it's not exact, but the outside of the middle circle gives a really similar radius of the circle. So I went ahead and I cut four 5-inch circles. So that's the outside of the middle circle with the red blade. So that gives me 5-inch circles. And I thought those would be perfect for 4-inch photos. Okay, so you just take your regular photos and then you're going to use the small circle with the red blade on the outside to give you a 4-inch circle. So that would be fun. And then I thought each one of these could just kind of live along the bottom of one of these circles. And you can just kind of mix and match them. Maybe I would do a little bit of, opposites. Maybe put this one down here, this one up here. So I've got some kind of browns and reds, and then the blues kind of going across from each other. And you can, snug them up as much as you like. And then that on its own looks really fun. I like that. It's almost like a grid style layout, but with circles. And then I thought, well, I could look inside here and see what else I have. And there's actually 4 of these large hearts, again, in the beige, the red, the navy, and the blue. So let's start kind of playing around with these. And I could add 1 heart into each layout. Again, I'm not necessarily any particular rhyme or reason at this point, just kind of seeing what might look good. So I've kind of got a little bit of opposites happening there. I could definitely put them on the outside of each circle. So do something like that. And then I could use one of these sort of little name plates or book plates to create a little journal spot and maybe a little title spot. So maybe if I put this down here, and again, just kind of layering it in behind, that could be my little spot for some journaling. And then I could do the same up top here, but I think I might leave that for now until we see. But now comes the fun part in that now I want to use some of these little sprinkly hearts to reinforce the heart theme and to bring the same color into each little cluster. So let's get our lifter stick. So I've got a large red heart here. I want to make sure that each of the other clusters has red in it. So I'm going to put a large red heart across there and maybe a little small one up here. And then I need one down here. I don't think I'm going to use, look at how fun that is, just in terms of being able to use that little tacky part of the lifter stick to just place those so easily. Yeah, I'm not going to use the outlines of these. You can see what they look like, but you'll want to make sure that you keep them with the rest of your Lots of Love embellishments, because you definitely want to make sure that you have those for other things. You can use those in other layouts. Okay, so and then I have the red here. Now let's go to navy. So I've got navy here. I'm going to need navy in some of the other spots. Let's tuck that one there. And that might be a little big. Let's put this larger navy one down here. Some of them are going to kind of overlap. Some of them will be a little offside, I guess, but kind of creating a little cluster. Right, so now I have red and navy in all areas. Let's go to the blue. Let's do kind of a large blue one over here. And then this, actually, let's put this one just playing around here now. Kind of framing that up. Lifter stick, Nor. Use the lifter stick. Perfect. Okay. And then I'm still going to need, what do I need over here? I need a little baby blue one over here. Okay. So this one can just be down here. So I got a couple little sprinklies down there. Okay, so red, navy, baby blue, red, navy, baby blue, red, navy, baby blue. Now we just need the beige ones. Okay, so let's do a nice large one there. Small one over here. And this one can be just overlapping there. And now I have the beige in all. So now, even though I've got my hearts that are the same colors, I am actually going to just add a little bit, one little hot fudge heart as well, just to incorporate that color from the large circle. Okay, let's do this one kind of up here. So now I kind of have that little cluster, and I think I'll just put a tiny one over here. Let's put them there. Okay, so now I have a little cluster, I have a little title, I have lots of little fun hearts in all 4 of the areas. Plus I have my area down here for my, my little bit of journaling. You could, of course, take that away and then just simply write your journaling right on the page, but that's kind of fun to anchor that bottom corner. Now I was looking and, I could put something in the middle, but there is already a lot of text on there. So I think I would not add anything else, and I would just really let these banners kind of do their thing and be super, super fun. Okay, could add arrows too. Hearts and arrows are always fun. But play with your little clusters and then make sure to keep any little extras that you have from your punched cardstock shapes with the rest of these embellishments, and you're going to be able to stretch that pack a long way. Okay, so that's the layout idea for using the last pieces of, or the last embellishments from our embellishment buffet. Lots of love. So let me bring you back up above here. There we go. And, that's taken me about an hour altogether, in between clearing off. And of course, the magic of a pre-recorded episode like this is that I can edit that time when I'm, in between layouts, clearing away and then bringing in to take it down a little bit for you. But yeah, just over an hour to kind of come up with those ideas. And then of course, it would be the time for adhering them, but not too bad for 6 fun layouts. So again, all starting with just a pattern paper base or a cardstock base, or in the case of the one we had vellum on cardstock. So nothing to do to the base pages, just using those beautiful embellishments, layering them up, and then finding some of the other products from CM to kind of bring it all together. So make sure you're going on a little bit of a search in your stash for some of those coordinating products. And I really want you to make sure that you go and visit the landing page on the Creative Memories website. So when you go on to creativememories.com.ca or .com/au, go up to the top where it says promo and you'll come to the Embellishments Buffet landing page. It'll give you a little bit more information about the lifter stick and all of the details about what you need to do to qualify to earn your lifter stick. But it's also going to give you some examples. So you're going to see all of the coordinating collections, tools, and cardstock colors for each of the embellishment packs. So that's really going to help you decide what you might really want to purchase. And again, whether you want to purchase one of each with the one-click bundle, that's super easy way to get your lifter stick, or you want to kind of customize and maybe pick 2 sets of the stained glass and one of the Carnival Fun and then 3 mountain borders, or whatever combination is going to work for you. So go through your stash, take a look at all of the different things that coordinate and make your decisions, but don't wait too long. Make sure that you head on over so that you don't miss out on your favorites. But be sure to get your lifter stick. This is going to be a must-have, great little tool, both for picking up your embellishments and for cleaning up your space. All right? Well, thanks for hanging in there with me while I created all 6 of those layouts. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you got some great ideas. And then I want you to join me live again next Wednesday. That would be Wednesday, May 10th. 3 plus 7 is 10. And we are going to have some fun with the new Sweet Summer collection. Absolutely beautiful summer themed collection. Let's play with that and the Sunburst recipe template and have a lot of fun getting ready for the summer ahead. Okay, so we'll see you next Wednesday. In the meantime, have a great week and enjoy shopping the Embellishment Buffet. All right, everybody. Bye-bye for now.